So today's video is all about something that I've got hidden under a cover that cost me 500 quid I think, about 7 years ago now, which is a XJS V12, but just not any ordinary XJS V12, a TWR XJS V12. This car was originally HR Owens, who sell Ferraris and stuff in London. It was their demonstrator car for TWR. Tom Wilkinshaw, who was the person that put Jaguar back on the podium after a very long absence from the great days they had in the sort of 60s at Le Mans and places. He privately, Matt sort of modified these XJSs and got them to, well, go like Billy-O really. He was a great driver too. I'll share a link with the Bathurst race that he drove in. If you look, that's the same sort of steering wheel. I've got the hubcap thing for it, but it's in need of restoration. But there's something just so cool about XJSs. They always rot along the boot lid, by the way. It's not actually as rotten as it looks, but it's not going to be a cheap fix. These are the famous flying buttresses. I think the car was originally going to be mid-engine, but I think complexity of it all, and you know, I guess the size of the V12 engine is absolutely enormous. It's like something off a torpedo boat. Meant that they probably were best putting it in the front of the car. I'm told that some of the original manufacturing processes for these included lead loading them rather, to get the smoothness. I don't know if they've got lead in them or not, these ones, but very cool. The original Speedline alloy wheels. And what you'll know about the XJS ones is they're sitting on huge Toyo tyres. I mean, I know they're sharp, but you know, you can get anything like that. Again, rubber breaks down over time. And there's Bilstein shock absorbers under there, yellow shock absorbers. And these had sort of firmed up suspension, a quicker rack. I think there was something to do with the automatic gearbox. It's still the 3-speed automatic gearbox. I think it's a Borg Warner unit. But they put a valve in that meant it changed a bit quicker. Some of them were bored out to 7 litres. It's possible that this engine may be a special, who knows. I'd have to look at all the numbers and everything, but it's definitely a very interesting car. In 1986, I think it was, Jags worked with Tom to form Jaguar Sport, which was a joint venture, and they then brought out the XJR. But prior to that, if you had the money, and they were twice the price of a standard XJS, you could buy a sort of TWR XJS sold under license with Jaguar through Tom, and in this case through HRO. So, you know, a really interesting car that you know, I found in the I can't remember, it was now eBay or the Evening Post at the time, or something like that. It might have even been Marketplace in the early days. I really can't remember, but it's probably 6 or 7 years ago now. But I'm thrilled to own it. It's still a gorgeous looking car, really low down machine, just beautiful looking, done up. It's going to be a stunner. I hope one day, you know, someone will maybe take it on and take it to that KWE place, have it completely rebuilt, better than new. Because it is an interesting car, and it was an interesting time for Jaguar. Tom got them back on their uppers. I'll put the link to this amazing race, the Bathurst race, that they helped a team of them won in Australia, which was unheard of. It was always Aussie cars and Holdens and stuff, but one of these big Jags. And did they drive it? They drove it like they were possessed, really, to get that win. And the rest of it's history, going on to obviously the Le Mans winning V12 Jags. Brilliant engine. All aluminium V12. I own that plate, but it's not a plate that's registered. I haven't changed it. I just stuck it on there. It looked a bit cooler before I used to put a cover over it. But that's the actual plate of the car. But it was a HRO car. I've got the original registration, which is, last time I looked at it, was sat on a Ferrari 458 they were demonstrating. So they've still got the plate after all these years. So that was it, really. Good old bit of Jaguar history. There are bargains out there if you keep looking, and you're a bit lucky and take a chance. But yeah, it's not been smacked or anything in the boot. It's all straight as a die. So yeah, great.